everybody, and welcome to check out what's new at Tanami Zoo. So, first of all, this is not an episode about the new Wetlands DLC. If you want to check something out of the new DLC pack, why don't you check my episode on the capybaras joining Steinheimer Zoo? I think I will link it right here. Anyhow, right back to the topic. Today we are in the Desert Zoo, which is Tanami Desert Zoo, and we are adding the wonderful little dingoes, even though they aren't so little and they actually have a big habitat requirement. But before we get into that, please don't forget to hit the like button, to leave me a comment, and of course to subscribe if you want to see more of what's going on in Tanami Zoo. And now back to the building. So here we already have built the elevated path because two reasons. Firstly, I wanted to have a big and nice view into this broad habitat, and secondly, it's just extra security. Because even though dingoes are kind of cute, they are still dangerous dogs. Dingoes, dangerous dogs, alliteration. Anyhow, so I wouldn't want the kids to stick their fingers through the fence and, get them bitten off or something. That would not be too good for our little zoo here. So yeah, that's quite important, and I also really like how it looks at the very end. As for this big habitat, I feel like when you have a big habitat and you can't, flood it with plants, and I couldn't because this zoo was built in challenge mode, so you have to get to the restrictions of which plants and how many plants and, follow it. So you can't make it all lush. Also, it's in the desert, so it doesn't really vibe. And then you have to check how you make the habitat look interesting. And I really like to do this with a little bit of terrain painting of height elevations to really make it a bit more varied. Nonetheless, I will still find a little lush place for them, building them a little pool where they can go swim. It's basically an oasis, and I really like also how that one looks in the very end. They are only the second Australian animal in the zoo, so the other one we saw last week, the wonderful kangaroos. But I have to say, now that I'm thinking of it, is the platypus an animal which could live in the desert? I don't think so, right? Yeah, I mean, they want wetlands, they want water. This is not a water area, even though I make every habitat look like it. My zoo is basically the wetlands of the desert. But yeah, I don't think the platypus would fit in well, and also this zoo has already been finished. So if you're new to the series, let me catch you up on this. Basically, I was sick for a few days and couldn't speak, but I could build, so I built this whole zoo and recorded everything. And now each week I just get behind my PC and try to figure out where I have the correct videos for the correct habitats, which is also why all of this is so messy. Talking about messy, these are the stone walls we already saw in the cheetah habitat and the kangaroo habitat. So every video is a little bit of a time travel into the future, into the past, and I'm super sorry for that. And most likely in the cinematics, you will also see some things you have not seen me build in the Speedbuild. Because either they are in another Speedbuild or they will sadly be in no Speedbuild at all. For example, the shop site I built in front of it, same as the cover for the viewing area, because of course we are in Australia in the desert, it gets hot, so I try to bring a lot of shadow areas for the guests where it's maybe not that hot. And then also we need shops for water and cool drinks and so on. So we also have that, and again, challenge mode, so our guests want proper food, proper drinks, and that's just it. And sadly, the recording for those shops that I'm talking about, I kind of lost them. So either I didn't record or I lost the file. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm a bit sad about it, but that's just it. And yeah, here I basically decided that I didn't like the look of the building with this wood, because I like the structure, I like the idea, it just all looks so, you went to the store and you just came home with it. It looks so unused, and I don't want to put decals onto those pieces in detail. It's just too much, and that's what makes me a bit sad sometimes about these pieces. I really like them, but they just don't have this weathered effect which makes them look actually cool, in my opinion. I don't know what you think, let me know, but in my opinion they could do better. So yeah, I'm just there changing like this building, adding some details, which means we're almost at the end of the speed build. So yeah, the buildings sadly I don't have, but if you want to see the fridges in last week's episode about the kangaroos, I showed how I built those little fridges and I really like them a lot. So yeah, I think that's actually it. And in a minute or so, we will probably already jump into the speed build. So enjoy the video, enjoy not the speed build, the cinematics. So enjoy the video, enjoy the cinematics, hit the like button, leave me a comment and subscribe. And then I hope to see you again next week in the new episode of Tanami Desert Zoo. And until then, I wish you a lovely week and happy Easter, and see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye. Nakitaan. Reivuva tässä lide. Aamulla näketään varmaan.